computer. Beautiful. Beautiful. Can we give me a thumbs up if anybody could let me know that you can hear me, please? Very good. And can you give me an equal thumbs up? And I said thumbs, if you can see the deck. Yes, beautiful. Now, I just need to figure out one thing here because I'm letting people in and talking. So I want to make sure I get that little dialog box to come up. Yes. Just bear with me for a couple more seconds and then we'll let her rip. Got a whole bunch. There we go. That's the better view. Okay. I'll let people in multiples. Okay. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody is off to a great summer and enjoying all the warm weather. And it's been a while since we all gathered and spoke, so I want to apologize for that. The last couple months have been kind of busy with conference tournaments and the finalization of collegiate baseball. And then I added a trip to Idaho to serve in a capacity and a role that was unexpected, and that took me away for a whole week. And that just kind of throws the whole scheduling off. So I do apologize. We're going to get back on track with our monthly. So I appreciate everybody kind of pivoting over the last several weeks. So thank you all for that. We got a great presentation tonight. It's probably just going to be myself and Harrison because apparently a couple of the other staff members forgot to pay their power bill. I don't know. Puzzling to me, but that's okay. They'll get through it. So let's get into it here. Okay. And I need to go back one. Okay. So let me make sure I've got the right. Yeah, I knew I went too far. There we go. That's the slide I want. Okay. So my primarily talking points tonight are more or less chain of command and reporting to, and just when we come up with issues and things that go on. This is a pretty monumental task that we do each and every week, and there's a lot of moving parts. I'm sure you all can appreciate that. We are in the height of our kind of our scheduling right now. As soon as high school baseball is kind of over at the end of May, everything shifts, and some of these tournaments just go full blast with high school aged events, and there's just plenty of them. And so with that being said, we've got a lot of new folks that we've onboarded and we've brought to help us cover all these events. So a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to kind of hear my staff talk about, what do you do if this happens? Well, who do you talk to if this transpires? Who do you reach out when this happens? And so I thought it would be a great idea that we're at the midway post right now. You're thinking about a horse race, we're kind of midway through the season, and I thought this would be a great time for us to kind of circle back and reinvest in some opportunity to figure out who we're going to contact and who's part of the staff. So here we go. So your primary contact for assignments, coordinating and assigning is Harrison in Northern California. So Harrison does all the assigning, all the publication of NCTB events, 5-tool events, and perfect game events God, I may be missing something, but for the most part, it's primarily all of those in Northern California. Harrison also handles all of the blocks and the calendars, and he also handles anything that is pre-scheduling or pre-publishing of the schedule. Okay, that's who handles Northern California. Okay. If you've got questions at any point in time during this presentation, I want you to jot those things down, or you can throw them in the chat. But we're going to open it up for discussion at the end. I think that's the best way to handle this, and we'll make sure that we get all those questions answered. Okay, so Northern California on coordinating and assigning comes through Harrison Silverman. Okay, for Southern California, that would be Scott Jones, Pete Saucedo, and Stu Raines. They handle all of Southern California, everything. Prospect Wire, 5-Tool, Best in the West, Perfect Game. I'm sure I'm missing something, but they handle all of that good stuff in Southern California, okay? Payroll in Northern California, and specifically NCTB, is Justin Havey. He handles everything NCTB, unrivaled, payroll in Northern California. Scott Jones handles all of the payroll in Southern California, as well as 5-Tool and Perfect Game events in Northern California. Okay? So hopefully folks are taking notes tonight. Let me let these fine folks in here. And that you're writing all this down. So when you got questions, you know who to reach out to. Okay? So the primary means of having communication is email. That would be to go to our BBUA at Gmail email inbox. That is for just about most everything is through email. Okay, especially things where we've got to do some research or we've got to have some discussions with people. That is good to do with email. Text messaging doesn't do any good, and it doesn't do any good to go through me. And I know recently a lot of people have been going through me for questions about assignments or questions about coordinating or questions about blocks or questions about pay or whatever it is. And they text me and I say, you need to write an email because I don't handle any of that stuff. My plate's pretty full. I got to be honest with you. And I've got this great, wonderful staff that handles all this stuff, and they do a tremendous job. And I entrust them to handle all of your guys' comments, concerns, inquiries, frustrations, all those type of things. So that is for the assigning, coordinating, and payroll. So if you got any questions on that, hold them to the end and bring them up at the end. Okay. Myself, I handle all the day-to-day issues once the schedule has been published. Once the schedule has been published, I handle all that for Northern California. So let's give an example here. The schedule's published on a Thursday, okay? And somehow, some way, you forgot to block or you have a work thing come up and you got to get off of that schedule. That is a phone call to me. You got to call me. Can't text me, can't email me. You got to call me. So I immediately know that's a very high important thing. So then that way I can have discussion with my coordinators, specifically Harrison, and say, hey, we got to get this guy off who's a replacement. Okay. So anything that's after the schedules are published, that needs to come through to me. If you need to get off of a schedule or you got a conflict or just something's come up, I don't know, you bit your tongue off, whatever the excuse is or the issue, that's got to come through me, okay? And strictly through me. Those are turnbacks, late calls, day of event adjustments, ejections. We've been a little bit tardy on these lately. Ejections. If you have one, once the game is over, and you've got time to call me and update me on that ejection, great. If you don't have time to call me because you're changing out and you're getting ready to do the next game, or let's say, you need to rush off to a work event or you've got a family event or whatever, you don't have to call me. But I at least need a text so I have that heads up, because 9 times out of 10, I get a response from a coach, or I get an inquiry from a tournament director, or I get some unruly parent or fan that thinks that their little Johnny's been unjustified with some kind of, ejection or whatever. And I just need that heads up. So at minimum is a text message as soon as you can, and then a follow-up phone call. If you've got the time to call, please call. Okay. That also goes for any fan or parent issues. Okay. All day-to-day operations, anything that has to do with any kind of situations, anything that comes up that needs my attention or needs me to deal with something, that's got to all come through me. Now, if you can't get a hold of me, a great backup plan would be to reach out to your coordinators, either if the issue's in Northern California or Southern California. But 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty quick and I'll get back to you, and we'll get this resolved. Okay? We'll get this resolved. All right? I just talked about the ejection stuff with the text message and then a phone call. Also, let's talk about this really quick. If you're texting me because you've got to switch out, that's fine. Told you it was fine. The ejected person, what team they're on, what inning did it take place, and a brief description of the situation or the incident. Okay? That is a great text message. And then we can follow up later once your game's over and once you have time to dive into it. That way we can talk about it and see what action that we're going to take. Okay? What action are we going to take? Ejection reports need to be filed within 24 hours of the ejection. We would actually prefer it to be that night, but we're not unrealistic that, if you work the championship game on Sunday and you got to get home and you got work the next day, or you got some honeydew things that you got to do, or you got a family event on a Saturday night, and the event happened on Saturday, we'll work with you. But if I don't have a text message and I don't get a phone call, and then the ejection report comes out Tuesday after the weekend, I'm probably going to be cranky, and I'm probably going to have a conversation with you. We need that heads up. We need that intel, because that incident's fresh, and we want to keep it fresh in our mind. We want to get that resolution. We want to take action if we need to take action, and if there's any suspensions that need to come with inside of that, or we need to sit somebody down, or a coach needs to be banned from creeks or whatever. And let me tell you, that happens. We do that. Promise you. That's all stuff that's very, very important to me. Okay? It's all stuff that's very, very important. All right, and I don't want to steal Harrison's thunder, so I'm just going to touch on this a little bit, briefly. But make sure you guys are going in and solidifying your calendars. We've put the power of your schedule and your availability in your hands. And I know it's been a little confusing at the beginning with the red dot, the blue dot, all these dots, and what the hell does that stuff mean? Harrison's done a great job of talking about it. I know he's going to talk about it again tonight. He's done a great job of having one-on-one conversations with each one of you and discussing it. So it's really, really important when he starts to dive in, like he did today when he got the schedule for Northern California and the Twin Creeks schedule, that he just goes right into RQ and he can kind of see everybody that's available. So he can start to put his mind around how he's going to put this puzzle piece. Let me tell you, folks, it's a puzzle piece. Putting this thing together to make it work, and we're putting the right people on the right games and at the right places, and it all meshes and it all works. That's really, really important, okay? So it's important that everybody gets in there on Monday and takes a look at that and get your schedule and your blocks and your wish lists. I want to go 5 this week, and I want to do 5 on Saturday, and I can do 4 on Sunday, and I'd like to maybe get this guy scheduled with me. All those things are very important, and you need to put those things in there, okay? Because all those changes, anything that you need to adjust or change, that all needs to be in there by noon on Wednesday. Because Harrison usually gets the schedule sometime in the middle of the day on Wednesday from our tournament directors, and he immediately goes to work. So that's why we make a deadline of 12 noon on Wednesdays of each and every week. So no exceptions, please. It's very, very important. It becomes very frustrating when he is going in there and he's seeing people that are available, and then the next thing you know, we publish the schedule, and then oh, by the way, I forgot I didn't block it out. Kind of inexcusable because we've given you the power to control all of that. So that's a good thing, and we like that, and it's going to work. It's taking a little bit of time. It's a little bit of getting used to. It's kind of another checks and balance thing that we have, but it's really, really important. And again, like I said, in the end, if the schedules are published, after the schedules are published, that's a phone call that must come to me with your explanation and the reasoning why we're having to get you off of the games that were scheduled. Okay? No text messages, no emails. The old phone call. Okay? All right, I already touched on that. So continue to reach out to partners. I know that this has been, I think this has been pretty good. I can catch people that are not doing this just because we got a no call, no show, or we get an umpire that shows up late. And the first thing that I do, and many of you are going to probably nod right now, did you talk to your partner? Did you communicate with your partner prior? I want to know that. That's a very important piece for me in kind of figuring out what led to this late or what led to this no call, no show. And shame on you if you haven't had any discussions with that partner that is late or no call, no shows, because it's our responsibility. We're a crew. Okay. We're a crew. We go in as two, not one, as two. So it's our mutual responsibility to make sure that both people know that they're working that weekend and they're doing a 5-top on Saturday, they're doing a 4 on Sunday, and these are the times, and I'm going to meet you here. We're going to walk in together. We're going to wear black for the first 3 and blue for the other 2, and whatever the combination is. That's very, very important. And for the most part, everybody is doing that. Over the last 2 weeks, when we've had some no call, no shows or some tardies, each and every umpire has said, yes, I did communicate, and they immediately show the screenshot, and I'm like, that's outstanding. That means that they're doing their part and they're respecting the chain of command and they're respecting the cadence that we're looking from you guys to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we get full coverage for these games. And I applaud that effort. I think that that's amazing and I love it. So that's really, 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 really super. Like I said, schedules will be posted by Harrison in the RQ platform for Northern California, and then Scotty, Pete, or Stu will be posting those in Southern California on the RQ Express platform. Let's see what Zoom is asking me to do here. Start AI. Sure. Go for it. Okay. Back over to here. Okay. Okay, day of events. Once again, you're contacting me in Northern California. If it's a situation like we've mentioned, all the different examples that I've mentioned in Southern California, that goes to Scott Jones. Scott Jones needs to be called if you blow a tire on 408 or 405. Scott Jones needs to be called if you blow a hamstring at, I don't know, Great Park down there on field 10. He needs to know that. He needs to know that immediately. That way, he can notify the tournament people, and then he can start to look to make adjustments. Trust me, on a weekend, this is a team effort. We're all looking at this thing and wanting to make sure that we get full coverage and making sure that we can connect with everybody. So it's really, really, really important that in Southern California, Scott Jones is called with any issues, and in Northern California, I'm called with any issues to bring us up to speed. And sometimes a text message is okay with things too. You could be, here's an example. You could, your partner could come to you and say, I got a little bit of bad tummy and I'm not sure I'm going to make this next half inning. What do you want to do? Well, how much longer can you go? Well, I can probably do one more inning, or I can finish this game up. And in between innings, maybe you go grab your phone that's on the chain link fence and you give me a quick text, say, hey, Billy, just going to let you know, partner has 2 more plate jobs and not feeling really well. What's the opportunity that we can get somebody else? Hey, man, that's clean. I love that. That's giving us a chance right there, man. So then we can deep dive into the scheduling and see if we can get, a replacement. I know somebody a couple weeks ago took one on the hand and stuck it out for like 4 innings, bought us some time, and we were able to get somebody to stick around and do that guy's games. And his partner called me between innings and let us know. And I thought that that was fantastic. So that's where phones come into handy, only on the field. That's the only time I will accept that. Okay. Once again, assigning, coordinating, and scheduling questions, Harrison Silverman in Northern California. Okay. Scott Jones, Pete Saucedo. I know I'm being a little repetitive here. I think I probably did these slides at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going to tell you right now, but I love it. It's repetitive and it's probably sinking in. Let's be good with that. Again, payroll and game fee questions and concerns, please address them to Justin Havey at our BBUA at Gmail inbox. And please give examples, okay? A great thing would be to have some dialogue and then go back and go into the RQ platform, into the pay platform, and snippet the games that are in question. And then that way he can see them. He knows what field they were on. He knows what the date they were. He knows who your partner was. And snip that and say, I haven't been compensated for these. What might you see on your end to relieve these and free it up so I can get paid? That's awesome. If you text us, it doesn't work. That's no good. I don't want text message. I want an email when it comes to payroll. That is very, very important. Okay? Very, very important. Now, Scott Jones handles all the payroll for the 5-tool stuff and all the PG stuff for Northern California, and then obviously handles all of the payroll in Southern California. Okay? And again, please use the BBUA email address. Hopefully everybody's gotten that. Harrison, tell me if I'm wrong. When we publish the schedules, doesn't it come from there or no? How's it come?
Not anymore since it comes through WebQuest.
That's right.
But everyone who gets onboarded has been onboarded through that email address initially. And just in case anyone doesn't have it for the upteenth time, we'll put it in the chat. And it is black and blue umpire association at gmail.com.
Yes, very good. Okay. All right, moving on. Moving on. Okay. Been made aware of a couple situations lately that I want to address. And so I got wind from a coach 2 weeks ago. I believe it was 2 weeks ago about umpires having some conversation. All of it started off in a really good, healthy, clean, non-weird type connotation. And then all of a sudden it got very inappropriate and had a lot of sexual undertones in it. We have to be very, very careful because that coach kind of felt very uncomfortable, felt somewhat weirded out in my conversation with him. And we just have to be careful what we're talking about and what we're saying. When we're out there, it's summer. There's going to be moms out there, wearing shorts and tank tops and all those lovely things. And I think we have to be careful about, talking about anybody because you just don't know whose mom that could be, wife that could be, daughter that could be, whatever. And next thing you know, it's misconstrued. It's taken in the wrong context. And now we got problems. And now we look as an organization, we look creepy and bizarre. And I don't want us to look creepy and bizarre. We do enough to warrant that sometimes, right? Okay, so let's not do that per se. Let's keep everything above board. Let's watch what we say, even if we don't have coaches around us. I don't necessarily mind you guys gathering up between innings and having brief conversation. It doesn't always have to be about umpiring. It could be about other things. But I think we just have to watch what we say and the volume in which we say it and the body language and how we're being perceived. We could be having some conversation to have like a light moment, and that could be misconstrued by the team that's getting their ass kicked 17-0, right? So we just have to be ultra careful in the way in which we go about our discussions on the field, off the field, parking lot, concession area, bathrooms, all those places, because it's just, they're always looking to, they're always eavesdropping on us. They're always looking to see, how we're presenting ourselves and what we're saying. And I think we just have to be ultra careful. Okay. All right. Next point. Is Mike Heathman on the phone? Yes, I see Mike Heathman right there. I see him. Mike, I'm going to give you the floor here in a second. So, um, 2 weekends ago, we also had another unfortunate situation that was witnessed by a couple of moms. And, this is a tough one, because this is a realistic scenario that could transpire here. And I had some conversation with Mike about a week ago, and we really dove into this. And it was an unfortunate situation and an untimely one. But if you really think about it in perspective, especially as you youngsters grow older, this is a real thing. And I think the conversation really turned out to be really, really good for both me and Mike. In the end, when we were all done, it was healthy for us to talk about this, and so I wanted to give Mike a moment to address the group, because I thought it would be very, very important. And for those of you that didn't hear about it, or those of you that did, that's beside the point. Michael go into as much details as he wants, but he definitely wanted to address the group, and I think that that's fair, and I think that that's a very mature thing to do, and a very responsible thing to do. And I will tell you, in my conversation with Mike, he really cares about how he's perceived, and he cares about this organization, and he cares about his own personal representation. And I felt that in our discussion. So, Mike, I'm going to give you a few minutes to address the group. If you could come unmute and go ahead, please.
Hey, Billy. Billy asked me to talk about what happened at Twin Creeks. And I agreed it's a good idea. A little context: when I'm at Twin Creeks in Sunnyvale, I'm 410 miles from home. And since August 1, 2024, I've been home 90 days. So we have travel baseball. I'm a travel umpire. I umpire in every state from Colorado west to the Pacific Ocean. I collect adventures while umpiring, like hiking, river rafting, and mineral hot springs, live music, good food, and drinks. My entire adult life I've been on the road. I was a cross country trucker.
Go ahead,
I
Mike.
was
That's
a
my computer telling me it's 8 o'clock. You're good.
Okay. I was a cross country truck driver through 49 states and all the Canadian provinces. And I drove 2.5 million miles. And I had a lot of great meals and some meals that caused sickness. Um, I worked a long day on Saturday in Sunnyvale, and then I went to dinner at Ruby's Taqueria, and I got food poisoning. And I got sick during the night, and on Sunday morning I felt bad, but I felt good enough to work. I dressed for the plate, and as I got ready to walk to the tent to start Sunday, and I really wanted to be on time, um, that was that was a big problem for me because I was really focused on being on time. Um, I was hit like a sledgehammer with a need to get to a toilet. I took 3 steps towards the restroom, and I knew I wasn't going to make it. It wasn't going to work. I turned around and I started to climb up into my SUV. It's 2 steps up, the high SUV. As I took these 2 steps up, I started to shit my pants. And I've shit my pants probably a dozen times in my life as a trucker. Because you're on the road, you're eating questionable food sometimes, you don't sleep right, and just sometimes shit happens. So I panicked and I made a bad decision. I opened both doors of my big SUV, they're big doors, and I shit on the ground. I still can't believe I'm saying that. I still think that this is a nightmare, and then I'm going to wake up, and I also relieved or wake up from a weird nightmare. Oh shit, that was just a dream. Uh, I because I'm on the road, I always carry gallons of water, and I do laundry. I have liquid dish soap, or not dish soap, but laundry soap. And took a beach towel, I cleaned up the mess. I took the gallons of water and the liquid dish soap, and I took bath towels and I scrubbed the pavement or the parking lot. So everything I had on was new, and I didn't want to shit my pants because all my undergarments were brand new, my tight pants were brand new, and I wanted to be on time. So I walked to the tent. One of the gentlemen at the tent handed me a phone. It was Harrison. Um, he said, he's a very kind person. He said, "Well, we just got to find a way." And I said, "There was no way I was going to make it to a restaurant." And so I had to stand down for that Sunday. So there has been repercussions for my action. I lost that revenue. I'm on standby or on pause right now, suffering revenue loss. So I I took it pretty hard. I, I called my umpire friend and told him I had really fucked up, and he said you need to get down here. So he wanted to help me, and psychologically it just fucked me up. So I don't to do it because I apologize. Is there anything else you want me to touch on, Bill?
No, Mike. No, I appreciate you addressing the group, and guys, I think you can fully aware that Mike's completely embarrassed. This happened almost 3 weeks ago, and I think that, to be honest with you, this kind of it shows me the kind of character Mike has. He's humiliated by it. Awful situation. It could happen to anybody. And I don't have the magic the magic sauce here to tell you what to do in this situation. Unfortunately, we had a couple moms that were walking through the parking lot at the time and videotaped it, and made a spectacle of it. And at first I was just obviously mortified, and what do you say? You don't know what to say. It's a hard thing to even discuss. And I just listened, and I just said, well, I'm very sorry that you witnessed this. This is not something that we condone. This is not something we practice. But I did say to the ladies, I said, please let me have the moment to look into this, because there probably some context there that would explain the situation. Then obviously after talking to Mike, I understood it. Just awful timing, bad situation. In retrospect, I think we both agree that you probably just unfortunately ruin some new gear for the time being, and chalk it up instead of potentially having somebody see exposed in a parking lot. That's kind of something that we want to try to avoid. So it's unfortunate, and I truly appreciate Mike sharing with me and our discussion the other day. And obviously, it takes a lot of balls to address a group for a moment, where it's pretty humiliating. So for him to address all of us and apologize, I commend him for that. And I think that speaks to Mike's character, and how much he cares not only about umpiring but this organization. So Mike, I want to commend you for addressing the group. I think it shows a lot of courage, and so I want to thank you for taking the time. So well done. Okay, well done. All right. What's my next point? Comments, concerns, umpires spending too much time. Okay. We talked about the cell phone, where the cell phone could be used in an appropriate manner. I also want to talk about cell phone usage being in an inappropriate manner. we got to be very, very careful in having these things in our pockets and immediately, like every inning, we're taking it out of the back, we're taking it out of the front, we're mouth breathing on it like my 16-year-old does, like day in and day out. It just blows my mind. I use mine to make money. He uses his to mouth breathe, and I'm surprised his gums aren't completely dry. But let's not get caught on these phones relentlessly. Okay. I get it that, we'll have some text messages and come in, or there's some business that we got to, conduct or whatnot. I totally understand that. I'm not immune to any of that. I know when I went out and umpired, 2 weeks ago, I had to have the phone on me because I had to answer any situations or concerns that were coming up that particular day. So there was a purpose there. But I tried to be very much aware about how that would look, and I never ever want to see it come out in between, during innings, during action, or anything like that. That's a huge no-no. That just is not a very good look. So if we're going to have the cell phones, I highly recommend finding like a little device that you can hang up that cell phone in, like a little pouch or something, so it's not in your pockets and it's not, has the ability to fall out when we're running, or it's in the front of your pockets and you look like you're just packing heat or whatever the hell you're doing. I think that's a bad look too. But let's just be very cognizant about the optic of the cell phone, and never ever let's never ever give coaches, players, parents, fans, evaluators the optic that it's more important that we're on the phone instead of really diving in and paying attention to the action that's right in front of us. Okay, so let's try to limit it as much as we can to between innings, and we should be fine. We should be totally fine. Still getting comments, still getting concerns about game cards and the proper way to fill out these cards and the legibility of those game cards as well. Let's just continue to try to be champions with this and try to get much, much better with this, because it's really important. We can have situations that come down to where the tournament directors, site reps are trying to differentiate runs and or pitch counts and all those things, or innings, or whatever the hell we got going on with whatever organization that we're doing that particular weekend. And so having that card fully filled out, properly filled out, where it's legible, goes a long way. I've seen some. I've gotten pictures of some, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe. How do you even sign a check? I mean, who the hell is that? I mean, it's just chicken scratch and just jumbly gook. No good. So it's got to be legible, and take pride in what you're turning in, please, because that's an official document, and sometimes those things do come into play. So we want to make sure that we fill them out as best as we possibly can, and we've got all the good documentation that's proper and accurate. Okay. Okay. Next point, on time. For the most part, I think we're doing a great job. But I was at an event this weekend. Funny fun fact, for my son, and it was in Stockton. And I swear to God, I thought we had assigned the umpires. And when I looked at the guys, and no offense to the guys if they're on the call, I was like, who the hell are these guys? I've never seen these guys before in my life. And of course, I'm sitting there looking at my watch, and we've got a 10 o'clock first pitch, and it's 9:59, and I don't see them. So of course, I go running out to where I know where they kind of park, and I don't see them there either, and they kind of snuck around the backside. Here's my point. And Mike brought this up, which is a great point about trying to be on time, trying to get to that tent, grabbing the game card, grabbing the baseballs, and then being there ready to go. The biggest on-time moment that we have is the first game of the day. That is our ultimate moment to be on time. That game starts at 8. Some of these damn things are, gosh, Harrison, are they starting at 7:52? Do we have any more of that? I hope not. That's just too early. That's just ridiculous. Let's use 8 as an example. 7:50 is really when we should have that lineup card. If we're at the 10 at 7:50 and grabbing everything up and we don't have very far to walk, I'm okay with that. But man, I'd really love to see us put the ball in play at 8 o'clock right at the top of the hour. That would be huge. Sets the tone for the day, gets us started on time. We don't have the ability to get behind unless we get those extra innings or we get that, whatever. We go time limit and then extra innings, God forbid. It's just really important to start that first game. Please, 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 please. All right. Continue to strive to arrive as a crew and walk on the field together as much as we possibly can. I know that there's some occurrences or instances where that's not possible, people changing out. We've got partner change and whatnot. And I know that sometimes we start games with a one man because we're waiting for a partner to come from another field. I'm okay with that. I don't particularly love that, but if that's going to keep us on time and coaches are aware and coaches are in agreement that this is going to keep us on schedule and they know that that partner's coming, but that partner's game, his previous game is taking a little bit longer, hey, man, that's great. As long as we're communicating and as long as the optics are good for us, that's good for me. That's really good for me, and I appreciate that. And I know we do that. And I know guys are thinking ahead, and guys are changing out. Or I've even heard where there's an umpire that's done for the day, and there's a game that's tight, and we want to keep things going. And umpires have asked that guy that's done, hey, can you come fill in for me, work the bases? Why I go change out, and then I love that type of stuff. I hear that stuff all the time. I think that's so good. And it's appreciative. So thank you for that. But let's try to arrive on time and be as punctual as we possibly can. Continue to be as flexible as you can on these weekends because, boy, I tell you, there's a lot of things that can change at a moment's notice. So we got to have that ability to pivot. We got to have that ability to potentially work a remainder of a day as a one man. I know we've had that recently, and guys and gals have stepped up and have helped us out, which is tremendous. So we thank you. But let me tell you, the course of these weekends, and then last weekend we had a bunch of tournaments that started on Thursday, went to Monday. We had tournaments started last Thursday, and they don't end until tomorrow. I mean, we had a whole week wraparound event down in SoCal. Woo, it's a lot. So there's a lot of moving parts with this, a lot of dynamics to it, a lot of pivoting that has to happen. So as flexible as everybody can be and understanding, I appreciate it. Sometimes this is a puzzle piece that doesn't always necessarily get us a net result of equality when we're looking at this thing. So you may end up with a little bit more plate jobs in the ask, and you may not. It just all depends. We just don't know. So I really appreciate those of you that have stepped up and pivoted and helped us out. It's awesome, and it doesn't go unnoticed. It's totally noticed. Trust me, we talk about it each and every Monday night in our staff call, and so I appreciate that. So thank you for having the ability to pivot and be accommodating. Okay, those are all my talking points. I did that in roughly, give or take, 40 minutes. Not too bad. I know I'm winded sometimes. Harrison Silverman, please take it away. Your show.
Thanks, Billy. I appreciate you. Appreciate you sharing those thoughts with everybody and getting us moving here as we enter the middle of June. And like Billy talked about, we really are ramping up and we're starting to move the ball down the field and open up the floodgates on the older kids and getting the partner contracts in with Perfect Game and Five Tool and Adam running his alpha stuff as well up here in Northern California. So we really full bore here, and we're going to talk a lot about that as we move into the schedule piece of this. But Billy, if you don't mind moving to the next slide.
My apologies.
No problem.
Too many. There you
Too
go.
many. My first slide is starts how Billy left, and it's really just a thank you to everybody. Billy talked about I do a whole scheduling up here in Northern California. You can take a look at those numbers on the screen. That's just since we've met, just since we last did our call, 651 games for NCTB, and Five Tools backed us up with another 170 games. So that's over 800 games, 821 games that we've scheduled and assigned just since our last call in April. So you guys have been absolute rock stars these last few months. You've answered the bell when I've asked or Billy's asked on the weekends, following up and staying diligent and staying consistent with us, which again we really appreciate and we really value. And trust me, it does definitely doesn't go unnoticed when we're making adjustments, making assignments. So that's my first slide. Billy, go ahead and shoot me along. I'm going to talk about the calendars next. RevQuest. We Billy touched on it a little bit. I need, instead of Wednesday, I need everyone to update their calendar over the weekend. So you guys that work in Northern California know I send the holds on Monday morning when I get into the office. So 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. Monday morning, I send the holds for that particular week for that particular event. Now, every Friday, I try to send a reminder email, reminder message that says, "Hey, make sure your calendar, look at your calendar over the weekend. Make sure you're up to date for next week." Holds are released first thing in the Monday morning. And the holds, again, they just let you know that you're needed on that particular day. We're worried about particular times. The way the RQ's platform works, the times are not relevant. They're actually like 9, 10 o'clock. They don't matter. The all that matters is the date, and really that communication back to me is you guys accepting the holds. So that goes a long way on my end. Is that I know how to plan my week. I'm gonna ask Billy to let me screen share, and it'll help you guys that are new that don't haven't had the pleasure or the chance to see how I do this, how I make these puzzle pieces work. I'll give you a glimpse into my world, and it'll hopefully help open up some eyes and into what how the puzzle pieces move and how I can get you guys with all of your asks into actual assignments and into games and getting you guys actual work on the field. So let me know, Billy, when you are able to accept my request. Until then, I'll just keep talking a little bit about the calendar function. Everyone has the opportunity to control their own destiny, to control their own calendar. The way that works is you're on the RefQuest platform. You will go to Express Assign, the top bar on RQ. And then under that top bar, there's a tab that says Calendar. And so that calendar, again, you control your own calendar, especially if you're new. The way the system defaults is that defaults you to always available. That means unless you block a day, it's going to show on my side that you're available.
There it
I'm
goes.
going to
Yep.
start sharing. There we go. Okay, cool. So I'm going to just show you guys how RefQuest works on my side. I'll give you the glimpse into my world. Okay. So these are my hold. This is the South Bay hold. I don't have a South Bay. I don't have an East Bay. I just have a South Bay. For Bay Area, it says South Bay hold. That means it could be anywhere from the East Bay, Dublin, San Ramon, with some of our five tool partners, Twin Creek, Sunnyvale. It could go all the way to we have some Skyline College this weekend, all the way out to the peninsula. It's just, but it doesn't. Again, it's just consistent of it's in the Bay Area this weekend where we haven't been able to place the puzzle pieces. So everyone with a green check mark on this hold means that I've sent them the hold date and that they've confirmed that they're ready to work. Everyone who has a magnifying glass, I'm not going to pick on these guys, but you could see a couple on here that have not confirmed that they're ready to work, and it's Wednesday at 8:20. If you when I send the holds, if I haven't seen you're accepted, I'll definitely send a message by Wednesday morning, and just like Billy's saying about I need to know Wednesday by noon because I need to turn these holds into a spreadsheet so that I can turn it back into assignments for you guys. So make sure you guys are going where you want to go, so we can get on the field and get to work, which is the most important thing. So it really helps me out a lot. Saves me from texting you individually. Is if you just go in and accept your hold. The first part of that though is really having your calendar set up so that way if I don't send you a hold if you're not available. So quick assign. Okay, this is on my side. It gives me the opportunity. I'm gonna go back to the beta side. This is actually a test feature from RuffQuest that they're letting me work on, which is a little bit more advanced than the basic side, but it has the same functions and features. Bear with me just a second here while this pulls up. But it basically comes down to you have a red X by your name if you're not available. If you are available, that means you do not have a red X. I'm going to try to send you a hold. Um, So when I go to quick assign, I can filter out everyone who has a firm, whoever who's blocked, I can filter you out. So then these are the individuals that do not have any blocks. These are the guys I'm going to send games to first because they show as available and ready to work. So you can see that I've sent blocks or I've sent requests to all these individuals that have one off site, and everyone here that has a provisional block partial, they've given me some notes. They've told me Joe Anazola, for instance, he's told me he can only work the first 3 games at Aragon on Saturday. So guess where he's going? 3 games at Aragon on Saturday, no problem. Hey, we can make that work. Joey Avila, he said he goes 8 to 5:30, so he can only go the first 5 games on Saturday. No problem. All right, I got your note. I make all that work. Okay, I turn once I get the holds, once I have all your holds. I put them all on my notes here. I'll write your name and any requests you have, okay, on a spreadsheet. Okay, that's how I start to pair up guys and work through the system. But everything starts with your guys' calendar. It feeds through your calendar is ready to go. I send you the hold, you accept. I put you on my spreadsheet, and then eventually I put you in the games. And then we can see here, flag for this weekend, for this week, we're starting tomorrow with our 5 tool assignments. These guys are all going to Brave Christian. And again, these ones are all accepted. So once I send you the game on Thursday morning, um, for a weekend tournament or Tuesday afternoon for a weekday tournament, then I release the days and times, and all these gets input by me manually. So trust me, it's a lot of clicks. With what Billy is trying to say, we're trying to avoid the click and re-click, and just make sure that your calendar's up to date for me. That's really the bottom line here, and that's a glimpse into my world as far as the calendar goes. I really want to, if anyone's got a question on calendars, definitely save it for the end, and I can share and jump back in at that point. But I'm going to stop sharing now, and we can go back to the slide deck, Billy.
Okay, 1 second. There you go.
Thank you. All right. We talked about the firm block, provisional block. We talked about that as well. Just in that same context, when you have in your calendar, you just click on the day that it is. You could have Thursday, June 18th, you can just write, 3 games. That's it. Or if only available first 4. Just give me the context so that I can make all the puzzle pieces work. Again, we have 17 fields this weekend. That is a lot of umpires. That is a lot of requests. And so that's why I implore you to get your calendar up to date. Save me the time so I don't have to double check and follow up with you every time. So go ahead, Billy. Kick
Yep.
me along. Removal for continue, decline holds. Eventually, you're gonna wear out my patience, and I'm just gonna remove you from the system if you continue to decline a hold when you show available. Okay. I know we're baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. I'm not saying it's gonna be 3 and out, but it's gonna be something close to that. If I continue to send you hold dates and you continue to reject them, it tells me that you don't care about my time and you're not willing to take the 2 minutes to set up your own calendar. I'm just gonna ask you to leave the organization and just kick you off the system. Again, I want to work with guys that want to work with me. I'm very easy to work with. I'm very user friendly. Just communicate with me through RefQuest or if need to through email as well. I can take emails and text, but preferred communication. Again, we pay a lot of money for RefQuest. They charge us. They're not afraid to charge us a pretty penny. So let's take advantage of the platform and keep things simple for us. Talked about this a little bit as well. Thursday, Friday, like those details come out on Tuesday. Your hold will come out on Monday, and then your details will come out on Tuesday. For weekend events, I can't release the 5 tool schedule until I put together the NCTB schedule. So all of the 5 tool schedule gets released on Thursday with the NCTB schedule. They all get released at the same time. Hit the button at the same time. Again, it's a lot of puzzle pieces. We're contracted for two umpires per game, every game. That's why I have to do it that way. So just if you have a five tool schedule, just bear with me while those first couple days, and then your weekend schedule gets released on Thursday as if it was a regular tournament. All right, go ahead, Billy. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna quickly talk about RQ Pay. We had some issues recently with it, and I really just want to not trying to steal Justin's thunder. I hope I'm not, but just giving you a glimpse into again trying to get a glimpse into our world. I'm very transparent, very user friendly, very easy to work with. Okay, so again, this is a glimpse into what it takes for us to get you guys paid, and a little bit of why we can experience delays every now and again. It takes 5 days for the money to go from our account into RefQuest Pay. Okay, that's a long time, 5 business days. Okay, so in order to get you guys paid on a Wednesday, we have to release the money from our account the Wednesday before. Okay, now that 5 days is when the money is getting transferred through, and then we can input the money into your account, and it takes an additional 2 days to get into your account. It's usually within 2 days. Mine goes one day, so my bank's a little quicker. Some banks are go 24 hours, but we're drawing 1 week ahead of time to pay you guys on time. When we run into major weekends like Billy was talking about last weekend, we had over $100,000 in umpire fees to pay out. We do not have that kind of capital, working capital in the piggy bank. Okay, we need to work through some challenges on that. And so since we can't bill everything in advance, sometimes when the money gets transferred in, we're allowed to pay it out. Okay, so just bear with us a little bit on that. You guys that have worked for us, you guys know we don't hide from our payments. We pay as soon as we can.
Hey,
Um,
real quick,
Go ahead, Scotty.
when we transfer over $100,000, or actually, I think it's over $60,000, typically the IRS puts a hold on it, or the banks put a hold on it to make sure we're not laundering money as well. So that's an additional 2 days typically.
Great point, and it's out
Thanks.
there.
Appreciate that. And so yeah, just like we're lucky to have this organization that we can work up and down the coast, right? We have guys in Southern California, we have guys in Northern California. You can work anywhere you want in California with us. We are going to run into small challenges when we have events like last weekend or 2 weekends ago when we are maxed out beyond our working capital. So just remember, we do want to pay you guys as quickly as possible. That's our goal, to get you paid that week right away. And so we do everything we can to make that happen. If we end up in a delay, that particular event, just know, we're going to take care of you, and it's not going to be an issue. Those of you that have been with us for a long time, you guys get that already. Go ahead, Billy. I'm done. Moving on.
There you go.
Okay, here comes the fun part for you guys. What's in my world? What's upcoming for Say to work, or for Billy Raymond to work? Okay, we next week, okay, we already know what's happening this week. We're Thursday to Sunday. Next week, Perfect Game has sent us a schedule already. We are gonna go Wednesday to Sunday next week in the Bay Area, South Bay in particular. Five Tool will also run concurrently. They'll start on Thursday. They'll go Thursday to Sunday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, NCTV, they already have 55 teams scheduled for us for next weekend. So we know we have three full events for next weekend. So we need to I'm going to send a reminder again already from through RQ. We will send a reminder to get your calendars updated, because I guarantee you over the weekend, I'll be spending some time in there getting the holds set up. So because again, we have four days worth of games, and we're going to be loaded up. So please make sure, again, help me help you get games, and just make sure your calendar is up to date. So these are I listed these on the website as well. Alex, we're just going to do all questions at the end. So I appreciate you raising your hand, but just keep it to the end. We'll do everything at the end. Um, we and then the next weekend, you can see again, I listed this on the main RQ homepage. Then the next weekend we have Five Tool in Sacramento, Thursday to Sunday, July 2nd to July 5th. And then we take a break from the other groups that weekend. NCTV will come back with 79 teams, July 11th to 12th. And then Five Tool will back us up 716 to 719. Um, Five tool again, 723 to 726, and then NCTB 725, 726. So that's how we're looking for the remainder of June and July. We look very, very busy. So there's a lot of them, a lot of chance to work. I know I'll be down in the Bay Area next week getting my work in as well. So I look forward to getting on the field with some of you guys. I know I haven't been able to recently. My dad's been going through some health issues after my college baseball season ended. Finally was able to spend some time with him, and he's doing much better. So thank you guys for that reached out about that. But yeah, so I will be down there and ready to work with you guys. Look forward to getting on the field together as we move through the end of June into July. So please, again, I'm going to send the reminders on Fridays to get our calendars updated, but please update your calendars because again, I'm going to be sending out hold dates and go in and accept your holds. Go ahead, move me along, Billy. All right, cool. I know I always want to wrap up my sessions with a little bit of talk about umpiring since that's what we do. That's why we're here. So we're going to talk about timing and proper use of eyes. What is timing and proper use of eyes? Umpiring is all about timing and the function of time. Okay, you need to slow your process down. It is nothing. There's a famous t-shirt that my sister gave me when I was 18 years old, just learning how to umpire. The t-shirt said, I'll never forget it. It said, it's nothing until you call it. It's nothing until you call it. Give yourself the time to process what you see. Um, Let the play finish before you make a decision. Tell yourself what happened, and then we tell the world with a mechanic. So that's about timing and proper use of eyes. I'm gonna share really quickly because I got on the field last night and was able to get a couple of videos pulled up from the game last night. So we are gonna show two steal plays. We were lucky enough to work the four umpire system last night. So I will be in the middle at second base, and we're just gonna run it.
Can everybody see it?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
Okay, we're standing up. Quick tag here, and if you notice the funky thing about this play, why I highlighted it was the turf stopped the runner. The runner, he's a very fast kid from Davis. I recognize him immediately. We had a good reporter in the year, but he the turf stopped him, and so he looked like he was going to be safe by a mile initially, and then the turf he got caught up, and so it slowed him down, and then he ended up just beating this tag. I tried to rewind it as best I could. YouTube doesn't really do the 15 seconds, so you have to bear with me as I move through here. And this will be our base hit, and we'll get another pitch, and then we will excuse my dog in the background, but we'll get another pitch and then we'll quickly run it back, and then I got one more play for you. But the most important thing here is just not making that decision too early, letting the play finish, letting it come to me, right? Lucky enough to work the four umpire system. As soon as I hear a runner, no matter what umpire system I'm working, I stand up. Then as the ball passes me, I'll drop step and cross over. Again, lucky enough to be working deep and close to second base, so I can drop step, cross over, and be set for my play. Finish it with a good mechanic. Okay. And I'll give you one more because I had plenty of steals last night. So I'll give you one more.
To Richard Clark, because we're not allowed to in the NCAA.
Goes outside, throw to second base, and he
He was going to be out, but he wasn't because the ball's on the ground. Again, proper use of eyes. You can see my eyes go to the glove, and then you can see it go immediately to the baseball afterwards. Proper use of eyes, good timing, slow the game down. Okay, that's really, really what it's about. So yeah, plate umpire making some gestures here. Again, I'm just running it back for you one time really quick. So different the same as the process is the same for me. I'm gonna stand up when I hear runner or when I feel him going. I'm gonna drop step and crossover and get set for my play. As the ball passes me, I'm just gonna turn and look in and be stopped and set. Most important thing on steal is being stopped and set. A couple of guys sent me a couple of videos from this game already from other games at this facility. They're moving through the steals. So really important that we just stay stopped and set Here we go. I'm stand up, drop step, crossover, stopped and set, proper use of eyes, and we're moving on. So happy to talk more about it with questions in our time, but really just bringing that point home of the steal and just letting the play come to you. Proper use of eyes, good timing, and then tell the world with your mechanic. And that in that case, the ball stayed on the ground. There was no reason to give a mechanic, so I never made one. And that's all I got.
Excellent. Really well done. So, Mr. Jones.
Yep, I'm gonna have to wing it, but because my power went out about an hour or so ago, and it finally came back in. That's why I was late to this meeting. I'm gonna echo the parts that I heard Billy talk about. Start that first game on time. I am tired of getting a phone call from three different tournament organization uh, directors every morning. Hey, this field doesn't have umpires. This field doesn't have umpires. This field doesn't have umpires. When I know you guys are there, get out on time, please. Start that game one of the day on time. We start game one late, every game's late. So let's start on time. Um, Harrison did bring up the issue that we're having with RQ. Um, Money takes a little longer to transfer in. Work market was a little quicker. Prior to that, when I was doing for SoCal, when I was doing PayPal until we got hosed on it, that was the quickest, but we can't do that anymore. Um, bear with us. We've been talking to RefQuest to see if there's ways that we can advance the pay faster. So let us work through that. Let us get through that done. RefQuest for Harrison, I know, has been a lot easier. For our counterparts in Florida, it has been extremely easier. And for the SoCal guys, we plan on completely integrating this in the fall. I'm going to try to get you guys all on for these games in the summer now that we are going full bore. I mean, we had 5 games. We did 480 some odd games last weekend. This weekend, we're looking at 300 games. And of course, it's Father's Day weekend, so we're robbing Peter to pay Paul on Sunday. I'm going to try to get everything going through RQ. It's going to be as easy as possible, but it's probably not going to happen until fall for the SoCal guys. That's it.
Okay. Very, very good. Very, very good. I know Pete's not available tonight. He had a previous event, so I think that gets us to, and Stu's unavailable tonight as well, so that gets us to Justin.
Well, what's up, fellas? I really don't have issues to cover on the pay. We get the very, very occasional now, check in from somebody that's having an issue. But really, I think everyone's pretty familiar with how the RQ platform is working now and the timing of it. Everyone's pretty well dialed in with their profiles and the information being entered. If you have a one-off, again, contact me. I'll do what I can. But if all your information is in there and it doesn't, something's not happening, then I'll probably direct you to support at RefQuest. But you can start with me. That's fine. I think as we have new guys come in or that aren't familiar with it, I'm assuming there may be questions here and there, but really the system's working great. We're on a good cadence up here in NorCal. So all is well. If you have a discrepancy, the only thing that could happen like week to week, if something happens where, hey, you should have got paid $10 more or something, or I missed 3 games somewhere, just reach out. I usually get that corrected pretty quick. Sometimes the master schedule that I build the pay sheet off of is off, or like my search function just didn't pick up a misspelling in a name or something. So it happens. But reach out to me. We don't get them very often, but if they do, just reach out and I'll get it out to you. Harrison was talking about timing tonight. I'm out on the field a lot on the rat side. And I think the biggest thing I see from a lot of umpires in youth tournaments is timing, especially balls and strikes. Definitely on plays on the bases too. Let the play happen. Don't be in such a hurry. That's the biggest thing we could say as guys that have worked at a high level, or we got a lot of years under our belt. Like, you may have been doing it a long time, but if your timing's not good, then you're going to struggle. And just balls and strikes, saves and outs, everything. Let the play happen, especially you guys are lucky you're not working on a lot of dusty fields, I don't think, anymore. A lot of it's turf now, so you don't get a cloud of dust, but don't anticipate. Let it happen. Um, process it, make your call, especially with pitches, breaking balls. Let that ball hit the glove. Make sure the catcher wasn't falling over trying to catch it and trying to say it nicked the outside corner or something. Just settle in, call a good game, have good timing. That's all I got.
Okay, Justin, thanks. I appreciate that very much. And I think this gets us to the wrap up portion. So, um, let me look and see what we've got in this chat. We got over 13 wonderful submissions here. So I'm going to go back up to the top here. And let's see here. Did Billy Raymond have something? I don't know if you did or not. Maybe
Alex
not.
has his hand up.
Okay. Let me keep looking here.
Unmute, Alex.
No, I don't have nothing.
Okay.
It's just nice seeing all you guys.
Can
Yeah.
you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to first start off and say hey to everyone. I know it's been a while since I've been on and since I've been out. But I talked with Harrison and I signed on to this weekend because I finally became available. I just want to say just from the scheduling standpoint, from what I'm hearing, the schedule is going to be released tomorrow, and you guys want a confirmation back that we received it, right?
Click accept.
Great question,
Okay.
Alex. So RevQuest gives us the opportunity. All your games will be listed. Again, you'll go to once the schedule is published, you'll get an email from RevQuest and a text message, I believe, definitely an email, and it'll say you have new assignments. And to view those assignments, you'll want to make sure you go to RevQuest and then Express Assign, and then you'll go to from there. You'll click on Schedule. If you click on regular assign and schedule, that'll be your junior college schedule there, your NAIA schedule there. So you won't see those. For our BBUA, we'll want to make sure that we go to express assign and schedule. And then it'll give you the opportunity to accept or reject the games. Hopefully we don't have rejections. Again, that's why I build the holds, and you guys add your notes. So you tell me what you can, and I know what you can and can't do before I hit the button tomorrow morning, tomorrow about around 1 o'clock. So then that way everything just flows naturally. RevQuest has been really good about that. And honestly, you guys have been good. There's been a few and far exceptions. You guys have definitely made it the exception, not the rule. And so everything's worked a lot better since we transitioned to RevQuest. But yeah, definitely you can accept the games in RevQuest, Alex.
Okay. The only reason why I ask is that, and I bring this up, is because some people that has worked with me know this, but I know Billy and you guys don't. I work graveyard, so I'm home at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm sleeping when these text messages and these assignments are happening. I just wanted to let you be aware of that, so you don't think that I'm not responding to the email or anything. It's just I'm asleep. As soon as I wake up and I get my bearings, I grab my phone and I'll accept those. It's going to take me a minute because I just worked in a hospital from 11:30 to 8 a.m. and I'm getting my sleep.
Awesome. No, I appreciate what you do at the hospital, man. Thanks for the reminder about graveyard. I get a good point to bring up. I won't text anyone for 48 hours after sorry, 24 hours after the schedule is released. So I send the schedule about 1 o'clock on Thursday. I usually won't text until about 10 a.m. on Friday, just following up and saying, hey, you haven't accepted or declined the games? Are you going to work this weekend? So I usually give about 24 hours, and once I get settled in the office on Friday morning, I will follow up with anyone who hasn't accepted their games. And again, I'll just reach out to those individuals by text message that following Friday. So no worries about sleeping in, Alex. Definitely get your rest, and we'll communicate, or you communicate through RevQuest with me when you get up. So no issues at all there. If you're done, then we'll move on to Alex.
Alex hasn't put his hand down yet.
Hey, sorry guys. Harrison, for those of us who've primarily worked like the NCTB, like the weekend events, do you want us to? Uh, I mean, I haven't put any block. I think the only weekday blocks that I've put were for like the Memorial Day weekend tournament that had, games on Monday. So do you expect us to also put blocks in or be aware of which tournaments have like the Thursday, Friday dates and put any blocks in on those dates?
Yeah, exactly. I do my best to try to remember who's a weekend only guy versus a guy who can go midweeks as well, but it's really imperative and it helps me a ton. Again, if I showed you guys what I looked through and if your name is on the list for that particular day. Again, like we're gonna go start on a Wednesday next week. If you don't block, to me it says you're available. And so there's a chance I could send you a whole date, and then you'll reject it, and you'll tell me you got to work, and I'm like, okay, cool, like you're midweek guy, you just didn't set your block. So like, yeah, definitely make it a habit of, when I let you guys know that, especially it's really only during the summer because that's when the kids are out of school. The kids are out of school, they're playing baseball during the summer during the week. And so we're not just having tournaments on the weekends. So yeah, I would appreciate if everyone blocks who's not available. I mean,
Uh,
just the way it
okay.
rolls.
Okay. Thanks for that. And I mean, the reason I ask is because I've only ever been used to checking the NCTV website for upcoming tournaments, but all of these other tournaments that have weekday games, they're on the RefQuest like splash page, the BBUA splash page.
Yeah, they're on the homepage, and I'll just share real quick, since we're talking about it. So if I go here to the BBUA homepage, um, and under news and announcements, you can see the NorCal events list. So you can click on that NorCal events list, and I just updated it today. It has every single one of our events and days listed for the months of June, July, and August. So you'll
Okay.
know, hey, I could work. Like for me, I'm off this Friday. So I know I normally I can't get away during the week a lot, but I know this Friday I can work because I'm off from my regular job. So yeah,
Okay.
so like there are weekdays you might be able to sneak in, but yeah, if again, I'm gonna send the email that comes out or text that comes out from RefQuest reminding you to set your calendars for the specific days for the next week.
Okay.
This week it'll say we're gonna go be umpiring games Wednesday through Sunday. Please set your blocks accordingly.
Okay. Yeah, that's super. That's great.
So every week we'll have a different day. Like this week will be Wednesday to Friday. The following week will be Thursday to Sunday.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Cool.
Who else? Anybody else? Any questions about anything that we covered tonight? A lot. I guess Harrison and Scotty and Justin, you guys are that good.
I do have can we talk umpiring real quick?
There's a
No,
question in the chat.
no,
Yeah.
can't talk umpiring, not at all.
Richard Clark has a question too about a drop third where the catcher's glove comes off, apparently.
Okay, well, let's go. Who was just talking just a second ago? Who was that?
Alex Perez.
Go ahead.
No, no, you guys can answer Rich's question first. He was first, I think.
Okay, go for it, Harrison. Or put the question out there.
Can we
Okay.
talk about catcher drop glove with ball inside of it? I've gotten 3 different answers.
So this is a play that happened to Rich Clark, and this is a play that is a very uncommon play. This is a non-routine situation, so everyone just buckle up for this one. Okay, there is 2 strikes on the batter. Pitch comes in. It goes sharp and direct to the catcher's glove immediately. The ball and the glove then come off the catcher's hand and land on the ground. The ball is still in the glove. The catcher then picks up the ball from the glove. The ball has yet to hit the ground and throws the ball to the pitcher. Now, this is a very, very uncommon play. Um, and my interpretation of this ruling is that, again, I have the rule